Yes, you made it under the wire. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is the organizational meeting. Would somebody like to move the adoption, to adopt the agenda?
I will do that.
Councillor Schultz.
To adopt the agenda.
Proposed committee organizational structure. I haven't changed any of the committees or the structures, but I'd like to hear from all of you if you're okay with where you're at, or if there's anything you'd like to change about it. I mean, now is the time. Quite willing to, look at it.
I'm
Anything?
very happy where I am, Doug. Yeah.
I'm quite happy where I am, so. We're good with that?
This would be the time to change if we wanted to experience something different.
For this year, yeah, because next year we'll do it again.
Okay. I'm good.
You're good?
Yep, thank you.
I had to see where it was now.
Do you have a question?
Are you sponsored with the boards that you serve on? Cutler?
If everybody's good with theirs, I'm good with mine.
Oh, yes. The only question I had is in here it says the swimming pool joint use rep is Mike, but I seem to get all the invites and minutes. Do you not get them? I thought I was on until I read this and saw that
That's
Mike
the
was
internal
on.
board,
Yeah.
recreation
I believe
facility
that was a
users.
change when Mike was elected. I
Yeah.
think that's where the change happened. So
Okay.
maybe they just haven't got you off the email list, but we'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Counselor.
Yeah, and I'm not on the email list.
Okay.
Okay.
Which committee is that?
The swimming pool joint use.
Who else is on that committee?
It'll be just you. Yeah, it'll be just you and then Lorraine Norgard and I can't remember,
That's gotta
but
be
they
an
like to have their
external board.
meetings. It's usually 10 a.m.ish.
Right.
There it is.
So just to put Mike on the invitation list.
Can
so
we
he-
notify them to change the email address?
Yes, we will.
I wasn't sure if he got them or not, but I thought I'd bring it up.
Is there anything else? Now's the time. Okay.
Thanks for catching that.
Meeting dates are okay.
We need a motion to approve.
We need a motion to leave the committees as is. Councillor Schlossberg. Question?
Moved by Councillor Schlossberger that the proposed committee organization and structure be accepted as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Meeting dates, leaving the same?
Sounds good. It's alphabetical.
So we do have some changes proposed. First, April 13th is a stat holiday and October 12th is a stat holiday, so both of those will move to the Tuesday. And then for the month of July and August, we're proposing again one meeting. And Karina's picked a date that's central with 4 weeks between all of the meetings in that
Yeah.
period of time, so we can deal with things in a timely fashion.
Okay.
And then just update it.
Oh yeah, and then just one day in December again as well.
Yeah, no, I figured
That's
all
what's
that,
up, right.
but. Okay, any questions? Motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Schultz, question?
Moved by Councillor Schultz that the regular council meeting dates for 2020 be accepted as presented.
And last, appointment of deputy mayors.
I'm in favor.
Moved by Councillor Zimmer. Do we accept the schedule as proposed? Question?
Moved by Councillor Zimmer that the deputy mayor appointments be accepted as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Motion to adjourn. Councillor Carlson. We are adjourned. Okay, adoption of agenda for the town council meeting at
So should we
7:06.
call it to order first?
We need to call the meeting to order first.
Okay, call the meeting to order at 7:06. And we need a adoption of agenda. Is there any questions, any additions? Councillor Moore. Question?
Moved by Councillor Moore that the agenda be accepted as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Minutes from the regular meeting, October 15th, 2009. Any errors, Greg?
No.
No.
Well,
It's a long one to review, wasn't it?
Yeah.
it's
It was a
yeah.
lot of reading.
You guys have been very
It's not.
busy.
It's not huge. It's just I notice every once in a while we get Lisa's last name mixed up wrong.
Oh. Where is it
This
mixed
is a
up?
standard thing
Yeah.
on every board I serve.
We checked the spelling on the minutes for Lisa's last name. Anything else? If not, we get a motion to accept. Councillor Cutler? All in favor? Carried. Okay, delegation, Alberta Municipal Affairs map review, and they're not going to be able to make it because of the weather. The highway, because they're coming from Edmonton. So we will have no delegation tonight. We'll go into action items, correspondence, Alberta Council on Aging, Let's Stop Aging campaign. Hey, I kinda like that.
I don't.
That easy.
I don't
Phenum's
either.
the oldest one here at the council.
Generally means something if you stop aging.
So we'll just take that for information, I don't think there's anything.
Well, I think they wanna know if we're willing to support it and then announce that we support this anti-aging or whatever.
Just stigma on age is
I know, but I don't think having an anti-anything is very helpful.
Yeah, I'm not in huge favor of supporting this, but anybody? Please?
Well, they're looking
I
as to
know they're
whether or
looking,
not.
but are you,
I'm not in favor.
okay, so nobody here? Can we take this for
from what I
information then?
read.
Okay, we're gonna take it for information. Number 2, correspondence, Alberta Rural Development Network, Annual General Meeting and Showcase.
It's in the Luke.
The Duke.
Did somebody go to this last year?
No,
No, because it's
we don't generally attend this one, so
no. I didn't
I
think.
would just, if everybody's okay, I would suggest we take it for information. You can spend a fortune going to every committee showcase that comes up. 3, correspondence, Royal Canadian Mounted Police District Officer for Southern Alberta, RCMP. It's an introductory letter for Trevor Darroch, the new Chief Superintendent for the region. We'll just take it for information. Correspondence, Alberta Farm Safety Center, a request for donation. Marion?
Yes, so the Alberta Farm Safety Center does a presentation at the elementary school annually, basically about farm safety, and councils in the past have felt that that's an important activity to promote in a rural setting. And we have supported them to the tune of $300 in the past. There's February of 18, 17, and 2014. And they're asking for $300 again for 2020.
What do you think?
It's a good idea. Good to have that knowledge.
It's a great program.
Does the turnout to the school turn out good? Like, is it actually?
It is, it's really
Do they
well
show up
received.
and like there's nobody there and it's like a waste of
No,
time, or
no,
is
it's
it
during
pretty
school
full?
Time?
It's full.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so-
Yeah, it's during school time, so it's
Oh, is it?
presented to the children.
Oh, okay.
Mandatory.
Well then,
So somebody willing to make a motion to support that? Councillor Schlossberger? Question?
Moved by Councillor Schlossberger to support the Farm Safety Center's Safety Smarts program with a donation of $300.
All in favor? Carried. Number 5, correspondence, Claresholm District Chamber of Commerce, Old Fashioned Christmas, November 29th, 2019. We've supported this in the past. They use the parking lot. They usually have, yeah, they do have sleigh rides, a bonfire in the parking lot.
And they're hoping that council will show up as well.
Usually does. Yep. Is there any questions on it, or somebody willing to make a motion to allow them to use the parking lot downtown?
make a motion to allow the chamber to utilize the downtown parking lot as they have in previous years.
Question?
Moved by Councillor Zimmer to allow the Carson District Chamber of Commerce to use the downtown parking lot for the old-fashioned Christmas event on November 29th, 2019, and to allow a bonfire in the downtown parking lot, weather permitting.
All in favor? Carried. Correspondence, Claresholm Community Center Association, replacement of entry doors in the main hall. Councilor Schlossberger.
We need handicap doors there. The ones that are there are at the end of their life.
And dangerous.
We looked into using the doors at the old school, but I figured it would cost too much to redo the door entryway at the hall. Plus, Mike said they were too old anyway, so we have a quote from Peter for new ones.
I was at, I took my mother-in-law down to vote, and I sat in the lobby while she was, in the time I sat there, I got 6 complaints. I had to help a few of them open the door, but there was 6 elderly people could barely open the door.
Yeah.
So it is a real issue.
Is it both doors or just one door?
No, it's,
Both.
they're double doors.
Both
Yeah, it's
And
a
they don't
double door
seal
set.
tight.
So, sorry, there's a main entrance and then there's the North Hall entrance.
Main entrance,
Main.
So just the main entrance is getting done?
for now.
Yeah, eventually it should
Okay.
be both.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know if there was,
So is this letter, are they wanting permission to spend the money to put it in, or do they want the money to
They
put
want
it
the
in?
money. They don't have the money.
Well, that's what I was just
Yeah.
asking.
Requesting.
Now, there is
the
an
time.
opportunity to Marion, to apply for a grant, is there not?
There could be, we can look into that. But our administration's recommendation is that this be sent to budget discussions, as we'll be starting that
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
If there's no complaints, then we'll refer it to budget.
Okay.
We don't need a motion to refer to budget, do we? Yeah, okay, we need a motion. Brad? Lisa?
Lease.
Councilor Schultz? Well, question?
Moved by Councillor Schultz to refer this matter to the 2020 budget discussions.
All in favor? Carried. Number 7, the bridges at Claresholm lease and agreement and management fee. I'm on that committee, so I'll address that one. As far as the management fee goes, I believe we should just refer that to budget. It's really not something that, let them decide. But as far as the management agreement, the lease agreement, there's been a few things, like it's a very old document. There's a lot of stuff, it was never updated when it turned 18 holes.
Was it?
Not that I'm aware of. And there's a lot of stuff on there that's falling by the wayside. The town has to go after them to do, and they claim they didn't know what was on there. And in all fairness, you know, if it isn't wrote down, I would like to see administration enter into getting a new agreement in place with the golf course, if that's agreeable with this council.
makes sense, needs to be updated.
Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So-
we just move that forward to budget meeting tomorrow as well?
Yeah, somebody could move for the management fee to go before budget,
I'll make that
to
motion.
be referred to budget. Do we get it all in one motion?
No,
I didn't
we'll
think
just
so.
get a second motion to direct administration to update.
That's
the
what I thought.
lease.
Okay, question for the first motion?
Moved by Councillor Zimmer to refer the management fee at the Claresholm Golf Club to the 2020 budget discussions.
All in favor? And then a motion to direct administration to enter into, or to formulate a new lease agreement. Councillor Cutler?
And then should it say to, bring it back to council at that point?
worse than a little kid.
Question?
Moved by Councillor Cutler to direct administration to formulate a new lease agreement with the Claresholm Golf Club and to bring an updated draft agreement back to council for approval.
All in favor? Carried. Number 8, correspondence, Claresholm Skate Park Association Chamber of Commerce Trade Fair Fee. Brad?
Skate Park wants to put a table in at the trade fair to raise awareness about the Skate Park Association. To ask for donations, explain to people what they're doing. So we are asking the town to pay for the table at the Claresholm Commerce Trade Fair. Big tables, $200. Small tables, 120. I think.
Marion?
We did ask them to fill out the donation request
just
form,
gonna
but we
ask about
haven't
that.
had a response on that yet. So we just had the letter.
Can we move this to next council? Because without the letter, we're the same situation as the walking group.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So,
I'll take care of it.
we don't need a motion to move that, do we? No? Yes?
No, we
No?
don't.
Okay.
Um,
Number 9, request for decision, letter of support, the food bank.
Okay, sorry,
Oh.
Your Worship. Can we just get a motion to table to the, to
Oh,
the
we
next
do need
meeting
it.
until we have a donation request form? Sorry.
That's what I asked. Councillor Schlossberger, question? I had a feeling we needed that. Hey, we got something on Marion. She did something wrong. That's not too often.
Quite often.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Moved by Councillor Schlossberger to refer the request from the Claresholm Skate Park Association to the next regular meeting of council when the group has completed the donation request form.
All in favor? Carried. Number 9, request for decision, letter of support food bank, the CFEP grant. Now on this, I was talking to one of their members today, and on that, one of the, I'd like to see this support a CFEP grant application, but for accommodation, where to put them. There was a proposal that brought forward, and it was just by one of their members, and it's just in discussion. It's not, we don't have anything formal. But one of the spots they could look at is where the recycle is. It's a fairly large area, heated, can be easily cleaned up and retrofitted. A refrigeration unit put in, it's got a loading dock, it's got large overhead doors.
Mm.
Now this is just, it's just something that's been mentioned, that we don't have anything. I still would like to see us support the CFAP grant
Mhm.
applications
Mhm.
and give them a letter of support, and if we do happen to go a different direction rather than a new building into this, we can do a change of venue for the grant,
Like we do with
like we do with the other
elementary
ones.
or the- I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
And is there any designation for that building once the recycling is done there
No,
anyways?
this was just came out of the blue, it was just in a conversation.
Interesting possibility.
So I don't know if this is, they haven't formally said this is what they wanna do, but it's something we should keep in the back of our mind. I think
Absolutely.
it'd be a smart move, and it would save building a new building, retrofit that space.
And I think it's a great location for loading in and out of.
It's already got a loading
It's already
dock for
got that
semis.
dock, yeah.
Just access for
Right.
people who can't.
That's right.
Well, if you've been
Yeah,
down
but
to the
we're
Calgary
renovating,
food-
we could retrofit that gate.
But if you can
Yeah.
make it downstairs.
No,
this
but just
building can get
location,
stuff.
like for people
Who
who.
don't have
access.
transportation.
Well, if you look at the location of the Calgary Food Bank, where it is in
Yeah.
It's
in
out in the
Calgary
industrial area.
comparatively,
But then they have also
Transportation.
transportation, trains and
Yeah.
other kind of
Yeah.
automobiles and stuff, so.
we have
And
cabs
that's
and
all
cabs
taxis.
and a coin system as well too, right? So,
Yeah, because realistically, if you live at,
Sorry, what was that?
if
We
you
got
live at,
transportation, we got taxis in town.
well, if you lived at the Agriplex right now, accessing it where it is, I mean, it's still all the way across town.
No, I think
I don't
that's
think
more than
that's something
doable.
we should, this
I
is
don't
just
think we should dismiss
information,
it.
and
It's just
it's not,
early, but-
they haven't asked formally, I'm just throwing it out there so you
Yeah.
guys are informed about it.
Okay.
But I think it's, if they do head that direction, it's a great idea. It's
Great
a
information.
building that's already there.
Okay. So now we
So with this here, because we waited, the only thing I was thinking of, they do get the CFIP grant, the building that they want to build, is it gonna be by the same company, looks the same? Like, I'm a little,
It
cause we
will
didn't
be-
get information till the dead end, it's
it will
like they
be
were
part of
holding
the-
out, hold it out,
Marion,
hold it
you've
out.
already,
I don't
Marion's
wanna
already got
have
that, Craig.
a new,
Listen to Marion. She's got it, part of the tender package.
Yeah, so we included the food bank as a component in our tender document. So the design build would be suitable to the municipal building as well. So it would be architecturally, it would fit.
Yeah.
Mhm. Is that your concern, Council?
yeah, cause the way it was worded, it
Not
was like
just a
they wanted
box.
their separate building
Mhm.
on the same location, and it would look
It could
not
possibly-
right,
Yeah.
It could possibly be a separate building,
Mhm.
but we would make sure that architecturally it
Well, okay.
fit.
Would we need that second motion then, with the 6-month lease agreement?
It's still a lease, it's still town property.
It would be the same, like for
Well,
$1 a year?
The lease agreement we need right now is for their lease of this building, because they have to show that they have a lease when they,
For the
apply.
application.
So is anybody interested in making the motion to support the CFAP grant
So with,
application?
if with this CFAP, is there weighted,
Move
if
it?
they do decide to use
It's the
the
same as-
secondary building,
yeah.
could you use this money?
It's the same
for
as
the
the
secondary.
daycare and play school
They'll- they
both
will
got
split it that way?
CFAPs,
Yeah,
and they applied to move it to the new buildings.
and that'll be, okay.
Well, and that decision could possibly be made before the application even
Yes.
goes in.
Right, no, I just wanna make sure that they're all,
No, we talked about that, Marion and me today, so.
Can I make that motion
You
to
can-
provide a
to-
letter of support to the Clarestone Food Bank's CFAP grant application?
Yep. Any other discussion? Question?
Moved by Councillor Moore to provide a letter of support for the Clarestone Food Bank's CFIP grant application for the construction of a new facility.
All in favor? Carried. Now if we can get a motion for a lease.
I'll make that
Councillor
motion.
Carlson? Question?
Moved by Councillor Carlson to enter into a 6-month lease agreement with the Clarestone Food Bank and a letter of understanding for the lease terms to be determined upon lease renewal to extend to the location at 5318 2nd Street West.
All in favor? Carried. Number 10, a request for direction, mobile home park snow removal. Marion?
So the mobile home park, is currently using a drainage ditch adjacent to the east, to pile their snow, and that's in violation of our unsightly premises and our snow removal bylaw. So, I met with the contractor as well as the long-term caretaker of that, longtime caretaker of that mobile home park. And, it was his understanding that back in the day, he'd had an agreement with council when that was built, that part of it was for the purpose of that, to keep the drainage off of that mobile home park. They don't have space to accommodate all of their snow removal from their roadways. Now, that's done privately, it's not done by the town, but they're not very wide streets, and then also there isn't much space between the street and the front of those mobile homes. So we went and looked at the property. I think it's okay for the snow to be there, but because I can't find any motions or formal agreements or anything historically to document that there was an agreement in place, I think that it should be formalized by council. We don't see a problem as long as it's not pushed down into the ditch and create a bit of
A
a
blockage.
dam for the drainage. And also we want it pushed back far enough that it doesn't cause drifting on the road. But other than that, don't have any major concerns. Now, the Ag Society does lease that land to the east of there, but this would still be in the road right of way on the,
Right.
beside the road.
And
And
it naturally
operationally,
is a ditch, did they put it right into that?
no,
No.
they put it above.
Just above it?
Yeah, operationally, it's not gonna change anything, they've been doing it for years, it's just that they've been getting in trouble for it, so they came to see me.
So they're
To
getting
see
in
what
trouble
to
with it from,
Well, because it's outside of our bylaw, right, we don't allow private snow to be put on
Right.
public property.
right,
But in this case, it appears from this gentleman's recollection of history that there was some kind of a, if it was an informal agreement or a verbal agreement with the past council, to allow them to do that. They've been doing it for years. He said probably the last 10 years he gets in trouble occasionally for doing it, so,
from the town or from the bylaw?
from
Okay.
the town.
So that's why it's been brought up, is because the town, okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Okay.
cause any damage?
No.
Being or not,
As long as they don't
Reservoir,
push
right.
it into the ditch and block the drainage, because that,
that's the drainage.
That-
The
ditch
agreement
drains
would
the
have
whole
to be
area.
clear, the parameters around how they could.
Right.
Yeah.
swim.
you making a motion?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Oh,
Craig?
that's-
Councillor Zimmer,
Nope.
you had a question?
Nope, I got her.
Okay, moved by Councillor Schlossberger. Question?
Moved by Councillor Schlossberger to execute a letter of understanding for snow removal from the mobile home park onto the adjacent municipal property.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Number 11, information brief, water plant contravention. Marion?
Okay, we've just undergone our annual audit of our water plant by Alberta Environment. And it was identified in our reporting that trihalomethanes, I think is how you say it, but THMs, they're a byproduct within the drinking water. And when it got out into the distribution system at certain points, it had gone just slightly above what our license allows. When it leaves the plant, it was at the right level, but something it's interacting with in the system caused it to go up by 0.007 milligrams per liter. So they did do some flushing on the lines, and as well, they've implemented an additional flushing system on a more regular basis. This is a contravention of our license, so that's why I'm reporting it to council. It has been reported to Alberta Environment, and Alberta Environment is also here working with Brad. They're trying to determine what it is that's actually causing that to spike in certain locations. And like I said, it's not critical, it's just that it's outside of the license, so there's no health risk with the amount that it's sold.
Okay, we'll take that for information. Number 12, information brief, the annual apartment vacancy and rental cost survey. Any questions?
It's kind of interesting.
Marion?
Yeah, but it's just there for council's information, right? We participate in this survey on an annual basis. Probably the thing I'd like to point out is that Clarisome from 2017 to 2018, so of course those are the statistics we're using. We went from a 4.5% vacancy down to a 2.6%. So some of the discussions I think that we had during the strategic planning,
Yeah.
this goes to support the need for housing within the community.
Any questions? Okay, we'll take it for information. Number
It's happy to
13.
see the number went down, though.
Actually, that number you want to go up. Yeah, that means there's no vacancies in town.
Right, which means there's people coming to town.
Yeah, but with the growth factor,
Right.
it is a problem.
Right.
Yeah, we
But-
got it.
Yes, there's a positive and negative, you're correct. Okay, number 13, information brief, CAO report on 2019-20 provincial budget. Marion?
All right, so I'm just going to give you a verbal report because all this, I had a chance to read the budget not till Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, so I didn't have it prepared to put in your package. But I just wanted to point out some things that, that stood out that will be affecting us as a municipality in the long term. One is they are ending the ACRP grant, so that's the Alberta Community Resilience Program that we access for the stormwater management. We do have a second application in, but after 2020, 2021, that program will be ending. So our application is in, and let's hope that it gets through the queue and that it's approved prior to that program ending. They're also reducing MSI capital by 94 million in 2020-21 and 142 million in 21-22, and so that's 236 million over the 3 years remaining in the program. So the 2019 funding is to remain as was predicted. So we're looking at those numbers, and we'll talk a little bit more about those during our budget discussions. They're creating a new local government fiscal framework, which will begin in 2022 and 2023, and that's to replace the MSI and BMTG. One of the things that will happen with that is they are planning to have $860 million for that 2022-2023 period, and that will grow at half the rate of provincial revenue growth. So they are tying it to provincial revenue growth, but it's only at half that, so it won't grow at the same rate. And again, we'll wait to see what that actually means for individual municipalities, because we don't know what the formula is going to be around that framework. They did freeze the education tax mill rate, but we have received our requisition, and it is higher than our 2018, and that is based on what the province has defined as assessment growth, and so we are going to have to capture that now in an adjustment in our 2020 education tax to make up the difference of what we didn't collect in 2019. They've also got a 25% reduction in grants in place of taxes. So what happens with provincial properties, Crown properties, they provide us with a grant in lieu of paying taxes. We collect about $33,000, I believe, $33,000 in taxes for that. That is being reduced by 25% in 2019, so we will have to write off 25% of that. And then they're cutting it by an additional 25% in 2020, 2021. So next year it'll be 50%, which for us is between, $16,000, $17,000.
15, 16.
They're reducing the Alberta Community Partnership Grant by $1.5 million over 4 years, so they say the ACP programs will remain the same, but the funding will be reduced. So those are grants that we've been able to access where we're working with our other municipal partners on specific projects, and we actually, I believe, have 3 of them on the go at present with different municipalities. They're also not going to continue to allow municipal census to be used for grant allocations. In 2021, they will start using population estimates instead, and they will be using Statistics Canada projections, and between the province and Stats Canada, they'll come up with a projection for use. So municipalities who had frequent growth or high growth would be doing municipal census, because it makes a difference on how much grant allocation we're getting. So FCSS funding remains the same, library funding remains the same, and MSI operating remains the same. The Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program, so STIP, that's for road bridges, airport funding, those kind of things, will continue, but it's down to $84 million. They are removing the Provincial Operations Center project, and that is, you've maybe heard us refer to them as POC. So it's used for emergency management purposes. I don't know what the plan is, but it won't be there 24/7. I assume they intend to stand it up in the event of an emergency is probably what they're thinking. But I don't know that. The Community Initiatives Program is being reduced, so that is a program that some of our nonprofit organizations have been accessing grants through. The Water for Life and the Alberta Municipal Water and Wastewater Program decreased from $153.6 million to $94 million. And we have applied for those grants in the past for our water treatment plant projects out there. Ag Society funding will remain the same. And I don't know what this means, but I do have some concerns. They're dissolving some of their funds. So there's, one of those funds is the lottery fund. And what they've said in the document is that it's to reduce their borrowing costs, their need to borrow and their interest payments by dissolving those funds. And they said the intended program spending for those will be funded from general revenues. So the concern I have with that is the lottery funding is specific to many grants that municipalities access through their nonprofit organizations or community groups access, and so it's just a bit of a red flag for me as to what that means if the fund is no longer specific for that type of grant. So, and just coming from general revenues.
Isn't that almost in violation of their own act? Like if a private group runs a lottery, you need to do the accounting from the fund and give the final account. It's all designated where it has to go. Final accounting goes to government. In their own words, now they're taking it and saying, no, we're just going to use it wherever we want and we'll pay out of the general account. That takes away the accountability for the lotteries. That is it.
And I apologize because the documents, this is the budget document. So
218 pages.
Yeah.
I was gonna print it, but I went, oh, maybe not.
That's a pad. That's a book of.
I can't read on.
No,
I mark it.
we understand.
But it says dissolving the following funds will reduce organizational complexity, clarify accountability and decision-making, and better manage cash to reduce borrowing requirements and debt servicing costs. Access to Future Fund, Alberta Cancer Prevention Legacy Fund, Environmental Protection and Enhancement Fund, Historic Resources Fund, and Lottery Fund. And then it goes on to say dissolving these funds decreases projected borrowing by about $650 million, saving roughly $13 million in debt servicing costs per year. Dissolving these funds does not impact intended program spending, which are incorporated into ministry budgets and funded from general revenue fund.
It doesn't make sense. Because if you're using it to stop borrowing money, then you've used it. So then you roll it into your general fund. Well, where's that money come from then? Taxpayers' pocket? It's just a roundabout way of saying, that's just a play on words.
Yeah.
But it's good to have it pointed out.
Prove that we've got money to do that.
Anything else?
So those are the highlights that I thought council should be aware of.
Are there any lowlights?
Tomorrow.
Okay, we'll move on. Information brief CAO report, any comments, any questions?
I sure appreciate all these reports that are done. It's quite amazing what gets accomplished, not just here in administration, but in all the other departments. That's
information brief, council resolution status. Any questions?
No, you guys sure were busy in October, holy smokes.
Yeah. That was that last meeting. There must have been 50 motions on that last
That's a
meeting.
lot
15
of work.
Number 16, adoption of information items. Any questions on the information items? Mike, you were, you want to ask about that? Why there was 2 reports?
No, it's all good. It's all
It's all
clarified. It worked out just
I just had to
great.
point that out.
Okay.
Okay, again, if we could get a motion to
Aye.
adopt the information items.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, I guess.
Councilor Zimmer, question?
Moved by Councilor Zimmer to adopt the
I do have a
information
question
items as
about that.
presented.
All in favor? Carried.
So I've got a question before we go further. What, if I thought of something after the fact, a motion's been made, it's passed, we've gone past the item, but I want to go back, what do I have to do to bring it back to council to discuss at a later point?
Marianne?
Well, under the policy, if an item has been decided on, it can't come back for 90 days unless unanimous consent of council.
So Craig could bring a special request to next council, we'd vote on it, and if,
But if it's simply a question, I think it's appropriate just to ask it at the meeting. But if you want the item rediscussed, then we would have to follow policy.
Okay.
is it a question you can just ask?
Well, no, it's a possible redecision, I guess. So I'd have to follow proper policies to get.
Okay,
Thank you.
motion to adjourn, Councilor Carlson? Is that correct?
Yep.
No, Councilor Cutler can make that.
Oh, Councilor Cutler. That'll be the first one in over 2 years. Okay, moved by Councilor Cutler, we adjourn, we are adjourned. What's your question? Camera off, please.